So after 300 hours in our graders, these are some tips I want to give you guys. These are some things that I would change if I was to start over again. So starting off, my primary focus would definitely be to upgrade Scrappy. I think upgrading Scrappy is going to be such a benefit for you guys. Is the amount of loot that he will collect for you when you are in raids is absolutely incredible. It saves you bringing out the likes of the metal parts, fabrics, plastic parts, chemicals, rubber parts, and assorted seeds. And not only can all these items be used for crafting, the assorted seeds can also be used on vendors, which comes in very handy when you're stuck for certain items. So upgrading Scrappy is definitely one of the essentials in our creators. Another really good thing about Scrappy is he can actually store up to 50 of each of these items, so while you're going in and doing raids, he's going to keep collecting them, but he can also store them for you, so you can let him gather up to 50 of them and then you can throw 50 into your stash. So he kind of works as a little extra storage compartment. So the quickest way to upgrade Scrappy would definitely be to focus on Lush Bloom's world event, which happens every couple of hours, which causes fruit baskets with high value fruit spawns to spawn frequently. So it definitely can be a little bit of a struggle sometimes finding the prickly pears and all the other fruits that Scrappy does need. But if you go on to the Lush Blooms event and then you look for these little baskets that do spawn out through the map, the little wicker baskets, it will save you so much time because the amount of fruit that spawns in them during the Lush Blooms is doubled. So coming to these baskets definitely will save you the hassle of fighting other players in these certain areas for all the fruit that he needs. So definitely recommend getting Scrappy upgraded as quick as possible. It's going to save you a lot of hassle with loot later down the line. On that subject of loot, while there is so many different items in the game, there is so much stuff that you can recycle early game. There's a lot of stuff that you're going to need to keep for quests, a lot of stuff you're going to need for your expedition projects, and all the items that you're going to need. I'm going to show them up on screen here right now. So these are all the items that are safe to recycle early game, and I would highly recommend recycling as much as possible, getting enough items to be able to craft some better shields, better weapons, and being able to upgrade weapons as well. I would also highly recommend working towards upgrading your stash size. This will help you out so much in our graders. I think the first couple of upgrades only cost like 5,000 each upgrade. It will save you the headache of constantly trying to sell stuff, scrap stuff, and just in general make your quality of life much better in our creators. So these are all the items that you're going to need to keep for quests. I would definitely recommend holding on to a good few of these. It saves you so much hassle down the line when you're doing the quests that you don't have to go searching for them again. So here is all the workshop upgrades from Gunsmith, Gearbench, Medical Lab, down to Scrappy. We also have the Explosive Station, Refiner, and Utility Station. These are all the items you're going to need to get this up to max level. Shout out to Prodeep for making all of these cheat sheets in our creators. He has multiple sheets that you can indeed download, and I'm going to leave the link in the description if you guys want to go and download them for yourselves. Also, if you have been doing a lot of free loadout runs and you're coming out alive, saving your free loadout augment, you only get 100 if you sell it, so it's definitely not worth it. So if you save your free loadout augment, and if you come over here into the traders, you want to be coming down here, you will indeed get a free loadout augment, so you can upgrade your free loadout augment into a Luton MK1. So I have 6 Luton MK1 backpacks now. Saves you crafting them, and it also saves you buying them. So once you have a fair idea over what loot you need to keep and what loot to get rid of, we're going to hop into some of the perks that I would recommend using and some I wouldn't recommend using. I am going to do a full dive on all the best perks and worst perks. I'm just going to show you some of the ones that I think are absolutely useless and some of the ones that you should work towards. Don't make the mistake I made and I moved up into here into Carry the Momentum. I think Carry the Momentum and Cam and Stroll are both absolutely useless perks. I would definitely recommend staying away from these two perks in mobility. Having more stamina is going to help you so much in PvE and PvP. I would definitely recommend sticking as much point into stamina as you can. Marathon Runner, Youthful Lungs, two incredible perks. We also have then over here in Survival, in-round crafting is one of the essential perks that I would highly recommend. It's going to help you out so much when you're using your free loadout runs. In-round crafting allows you to be able to craft other items when topside. So definitely stay away from Cam and Stroll. This perk isn't as what you think. Cam and Stroll is while you're walking, your stamina regenerates as if you were standing still. But what you don't realize is there is two completely separate walks in this game. You have your ordinary walk and then you have a slower walk. So to get the benefits out of Cam and Stroll, you have to be using the super slow walk, and I would definitely recommend staying away from Cam and Stroll. It absolutely is not worth it. So I know a lot of people are going to give me some hate for this one, but I still stand my ground on it. I will have a video coming soon on Security Breach as well. I still think you should be working towards Security Breach. It is a really, really good perk. It allows you to be able to open the security lockers. Now recently the devs have decided that they were going to patch Security Breach because it was too overpowered. Like, you were pulling out, the loot you were pulling out in early game Security Breach was insane. When this game first came out, Security Breach was definitely the best perk in the game. You were pulling out at least 2 or 3 purple weapons every single time, but they've changed it. Now it's mainly focused on blue weapons, but you do actually pull out purple weapons here and there, and I still think Security Breach is a good perk. I'm going to do a video soon covering why I think you should actually be picking Security Breach. I'm going to do a full video on that, but I definitely recommend that you work towards Security Breach. It actually is a really good perk. If you're ever about to get into a little bit of PvP and you're worried that the person that you're going to fight has better gear than you, another quick way to notice is, right, I have my level 2 gear on now. If you look to the left of my backpack, you can see that it's pretty slimmed down. There's not much going on compared to when we put on the purple. Purple, it is kitted out. There's a lot more antennas and stuff on it. We have 3 antennas with purple, and with the blue we have 2, as you can see them there on the left, and then with the green we have 1. That is a quick way to find out what type of shield the raider is using that you're about to fight. So if you ever find yourself on Damn Battlegrounds map and you are stuck down the bottom of the floodgates here, I'm going to show you exactly how to get back up without having to rotate around the long way. So if you come to these here, so once you have a little bit of stamina, once you're looking directly down, you can indeed scale up the dam. You will need stamina to be able to do this. Don't forget, once your stamina runs out, you're going to be pretty screwed. Like, we are full on scaling the dam. Such a handy tip if you're ever in PvE or PvP. Like, we're after going to full up to the top there, and then you can just roll off onto the side there, and up you go. So make sure you have a full bar of stamina when you're doing so. Another really helpful movement tip is if you are taking these zip lines up and down that are usually in the towers, you can go like just like that, connect right at the bottom, so you'll make less noise than when you're going the full way down it. Not only will you get down quicker, you will make a ton of less noise. You can go right down to the bottom with it. You can even wait until the very end before going to the zip line, and you won't take any fall damage, which is super handy for getting down quicker and for also getting down a lot quieter. So hopping into the weapons in the game, as I do think this would need a full video on itself, I'm just going to give you my tier list, which I have shared on screen right here. So starting off in S tier, we have Stitcher, Il Toro, Venator and Bobcat, all S tier weapons. Now moving into A tier, I have the Torrente, Anvil, Kettle and Furrow. I think they're all A tier weapons. A lot of people would say different about the Torrente, but this thing up close is an absolute monster. Into the B tier weapons, we have the Berletta, Renegade, Tempest and Volcano. Then on to C tier, we have Osprey and Apresio. Then the D tier, pretty useless weapons are the Hairpin, Rattler and Bettina. Now the 4 weapons down the bottom, Hullcracker, Jupiter, Equalizer and Aphelion, these are all used for PvE. Although you can use some of the gold weapons for PvP, these all get their own category for PvE weapons. After 300 hours, these are some of the best and worst weapons in my opinion. So when you come to these breach doors, make sure that you're always breaching at an angle and not like this. If you're breaching like this, you are more inclined to get shot into the back and you won't have enough time to be able to turn around and react. So if you actually can come at a little bit of angle, say if I want to watch my right hand side there, all I gotta do is come like that and I can rotate my camera over and I have a full view of the right hand side over there, giving me that little bit of time to hop off the door if someone comes and tries to shoot me. So don't make this mistake when you're falling from a height. If you roll into your falls, you will take no damage when you fall and you won't be stun knocked either. Another super helpful tip is if you're fighting the Queen or the Matriarch, you don't actually need to kill either of these bosses to be able to loot the reactors off them. If you just do enough damage to their legs, you can indeed run in and loot their reactors by just damaging up their legs. A lot of people think you need to kill the Queen to be able to loot the reactors, but that is totally wrong. Once you do enough damage to knock off some of the armor, you can get some of the reactors out of it. I know it is a little bit cheesy, but there has been times where I've been using a free loadout. On that free loadout, I've just sat in around where the Queen was, where everyone was doing damage, and then I just snuck in when I seen the bits of armor falling off, because at the end of the day, I'm on a free loadout. Doesn't really matter if I die. And I've snuck out with 2 or 3 pieces of core. by using this sneaky rat method. Also is a super helpful tip if you want to get into these raids and not get into much PvP. There is actually a trick to do so. All you gotta do is spend a couple of raids not PvP and not fighting anybody, and you will automatically get thrown into a more friendly environment. This was indeed tested out by another YouTuber called Sinister. I'd highly recommend checking out his video. He dives into this a little bit and fully tests out and proves that the less PvP you get in, the more chance of being put into a friendly raid. The last little bit of advice I'm going to give you after 300 hours is make sure you're using the free loadout as much as possible. Free loadout is absolutely fantastic for hopping in, doing tasks, finding your way around the maps, and getting into a little PvP. It completely eliminates gear fear. So make sure you're utilizing free loadouts as much as possible before the devs decide to change them. You can use free loadout as much as you want in the game at the moment, so definitely utilize this as much as possible. That's all for now, boys. I hope these tips will help you out topside, and I shall talk to you in the next one.